Hello and welcome to the next video in our mobile metrics series. Our first video showed you pirate metrics at a high level, how to acquire users, how to activate them, how to retain, get them to refer and build revenue. And in today's episode, I'm excited to show you how to build a mobile funnel in your mobile app. Let's do it. So to build a funnel in your mobile app, you need to get very specific about what the events are going to look like. Every registration process, every onboarding sequence is completely unique to each app. Now we've gone a little bit crazy with the whiteboard today, but I'm just trying to show an example of a typical event flow in a mobile app and what it might look like. So if you can imagine this funnel, these are the users coming in at the top of funnel where they're quite low value, we're acquiring them, we're getting them to download our mobile app. But it's not until we move them through the funnel that they actually become retained, they start to refer, they become useful customers and users for us, and we even get them to this revenue stage. So the way it kind of starts off with, we get like 100% of our customers downloading our mobile application. And think of these like stages on the funnel. From last week, we've got the acquisition, we've got the activation, the retention, the referral, and the revenue. But then what we're trying to do is we're trying to figure out what are the custom events in your mobile user's journey, and we're plotting these different events in the various stages of the funnel. So we have 100% of users that come in and download your mobile application, but you'll probably find that only around 90% of them will actually open up the app at all. So what do we track as an acquired user? What do we term as acquired? So maybe they have to launch the application. Well, at the very least, they're going to have to launch the app so you can get some kind of event flow coming back. So they must have launched the app, and then maybe they have visited some kind of a section, or they've stayed in the app for more than 15 seconds. But you're going to see dramatic drop off. You will have lost probably 20%. You have to insert your own baseline data and then kind of refine as you go. But you're going to probably see about 80% of people, 100% coming in from the download, 80% will stick around that you can actually term as properly acquired. They stayed in the app, they've clicked around, they've done some things, but we keep that pretty light. And then we move into the next stage, which is actually activated. So, they need to do a couple of things to term them as acquired. So what do they do next? And what does the drop-off look like? So, some apps will have a registration screen, some might have a social sign-in. You may not even have either of these. You might go straight to the product page or straight to add to cart. Again, it's very custom for your app. You're going to have the various stages of the funnel, but the event flow and what you tag at each stage of the funnel is going to look totally unique for you and your own circumstances, as will the data. But you're going to see pretty you'll see some similarities in drop off as you move from low value down to high value in the funnel. So again, from the an activation standpoint, you probably see 40% or 55% of them may set their preferences in the app. And then you'll have, by the time you get down to around 40% of those users, they've viewed a premium product or a feature, and maybe they've spent 60 seconds in the app. So by the time they've reached here and they've spent a certain amount of time, they've viewed a certain amount of sections, then we can actually say, right, these users are actually properly not only acquired, but we now have them at the activation stage. So now that we've got these users activated, are they going to stick around? Are they going to come back and actually use our app within a 30-day period? And I don't mean, you remember from my last video, the concept of MAU being a little bit of a vanity metric, but are they going to come back and do something meaningful as part of our journey in our mobile app? So moving on to retention, do they visit a second time within the first week of downloading the app? Because that's a good sense of the user being actually retained. Do they open the app after the first week? How long do they spend in the app as part of the second and third and fourth session? So you're going to see again, pretty dramatic drop off again from the activation stage. You probably only have 15% of people that will come back in the first week, and then maybe that will come back a second time in that week. You're looking at 10%. In terms of still within the retention phase, you might send a retention push notification, so you might sense that customers are starting to slip or churn. And the ones that will engage with your push notification might highlight a certain feature, and it might say, hey, have you checked out XYZ feature in the app? we would think it would be great if you came back and completed the checkout or completed the card or booked that flight or whatever it is. Only 5% are going to actually engage with this notification at this stage at all. The ones are then moving on into referral, the ones that are actually going to share this on social media or do anything that can be termed as referring. Again, you're looking at 3% of users that will do this. And then as we move down into revenue, the drop off becomes even more dramatic. So the ones that are actually going to make a purchase that might be, between $5 and $10 might be 2, and then over the $10 mark, you might actually be looking at, sub 1% of those users. So, we don't want you to prematurely optimize this section of the funnel. Sometimes you do need to just focus on, top of funnel and acquiring more users in. And because as you put more into the funnel, you're going to improve your statistical relevance of the data. So while you're still operating at very low volumes, it's kind of hard to really trust these numbers that they are the true conversion rates at each stage. So in the beginning, you need to be pouring a lot in, and then as you go, optimize, and then really see what is the drop off at each of these stages. And by very cleverly measuring the conversion rates between all of these events and the event flow in our app, it can start to give us clues about the features that we need to improve on, the user experience, and the various processes that need to be modified to deliver a better user experience and move customers from low value to high value, move more volume through the funnel, and build a way better user experience. So we would recommend that you sit down and with your team review these metrics on at least a weekly basis. You want to be tracking, download to acquired, your acquired to activated, your retained to referral, and to revenue as well. Remember, small increments, improve it bit by bit, and focus on small increments in the funnel. So right from the launch to the purchase, you're tracking everything. And once you've got all these events tracked and instrumented in your app, it gives you this big picture that you can stand back and say, this is what's happening in our mobile experience. This is where our bucket is leaky. This is where we need to make the improvements to deliver a better customer experience, to be able to profitably acquire customers, and to do it in a really sustainable way. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Next week, we're going to be deep diving just into user acquisition and all of the techniques and strategies you can employ to do mobile advertising and get more customers into the top of funnel. So that's it for this week's video, guys. I'm Patrick Letty, looking forward to seeing you next week. Don't forget to leave a comment below the video. Share if you haven't done so. Sign up to the Pulsate Academy, enter your email address. Never miss an episode. Thanks. So building a funnel in your mobile app is quite unique to your own application because every one app...